Yes, and the rest of you who are in dark, if you would like to come into light, it'd be nice to see more than your pictures, more than your names. Anyway, good morning again. I'm Tim Burkett. I've been a teacher here for a long time. And I want to start by doing a little guided meditation, focusing on children. And so let's just do, I'm going to do a short guided meditation, a loving kindness meditation, focus on children. Very simple, starting with ourselves. When I do loving kindness meditation with folks, I always want them to start with themselves because they tend to leave themselves out, many of them. May we feel safe. May we feel protected. May we feel loved. May we feel safe. May we feel protected. May we feel loved. May we feel safe. May we feel protected. May we feel loved. May the Annunciation children feel safe. May the Annunciation children feel protected. May the Annunciation children feel loved. May the Annunciation children feel safe. May they feel protected. May they feel loved. May all children feel safe. May all children feel protected. May all children feel loved. May all children feel safe. May all children feel protected. May all children feel loved. May all children feel safe. May all children feel protected. May all children feel loved. May the Annunciation children feel safe. May the Annunciation children feel protected. May the Annunciation children feel loved. May the Annunciation children feel safe. May they feel protected. May they feel loved. May we feel safe. May we feel protected. May we feel loved. May we feel safe. May we feel protected. May we feel loved. May all beings feel safe. May all beings feel protected. May all beings feel loved. Gong. So this morning I want to talk about Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. On the three-legged stool. I call the three-legged stool. I don't know if it comes, I don't think calling this three-legged stool comes from the scripture, but Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, the triple treasures. They're to support us. They're to make our practice strong, stable, steady in difficult times. These are difficult times. And if we need all three of those, stool falls over. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, all three. And if it falls over, we can get up. We can put the two legs back on and get a third. That's okay. It will fall over sometimes. Our practice collapses. We get back on the stool, and it supports us. first leg is Buddha. Buddha. And so, who is Buddha? Who is Buddha? And in our tradition, Buddha is just simply living wakefully. Living wakefully. Buddha is someone or someones who don't get their main sustenance from the Chatterbox Cafe. The food isn't that sustaining in the Chatterbox Cafe. It's okay, but it's not the deepest and fullest sustenance. And the Chatterbox Cafe is predominantly woulda, coulda, shoulda, regretting, rehearsing, and repeating. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, regretting, rehearsing, and repeating, and however you want to do it. No, that doesn't give us real deep sustenance, does it? Oh, no, he's going to make another. Oh, bye-bye. I hope you guys are still here on that and that. And everything comes and goes. That's what main Zen teaching is. Everything comes and goes. So the Buddha, a teacher, a mentor, and it can be a formal teacher, mentor, or just someone. Could even be a dog teacher or mentor. Pretty wise, some of those dog teachers, some of those dog Buddhists, pretty wise. And in our tradition specifically, we talk about mind-to-mind transmission, heart-to-heart, heart-mind to heart-mind transmission, nonverbal, direct transmission through meeting or proximity, bypassing limitations, bypassing the limitations of language and conceptual thought. As Bodhidharma says, no dependence on words and letters, direct pointing to the heart-mind. And this takes patience and persistence on the part of two people, the mentee and the mentor, the teacher and the student. And this is also a historical basis for the Zen lineage, which traces its origins back to Buddha. If you get initiated, you go all the way back. Although we do know that it was pretty much fabricated in the 7th, 8th century. But it's been, I think, pretty legitimate since that century, although I say legitimacy with a train of thought because a lot of fathers passed it on to their sons. And not that that shouldn't happen, but it just, I just wonder. I wonder about the vibrancy, whether the vibrancy was really maintained. But we're flawed, so. And our founding teacher here, Katagiri Roshi, is in my lineage and in all of my students and former students' lineage. And they get papers and when they go through initiation or ordination. And Suzuki, my root teacher, is not on those papers, not in those papers. But we still chant his name here because he was not part of that specific family, that specific lineage. When Katagiri Roshi came here, he did not bring Suzuki Roshi from San Francisco with him. He developed his own branch. So the teacher in Zen, the mentor in Zen, is not very much like the guru in Hinduism. Not divine or near divine. We completely surrender or devote ourselves
to him or her or them, although I think I might like that better. Really, ultimately, I wouldn't like it better. But at first, I think, wow. You know what I mean? Wow. Zen teacher just points the way, not flawless, still human, ordinary emotions, ordinary imperfections. And the awakened mind, when we're not caught by the Box Cafe and all the woulda, coulda, shouldas, sees stuff. It sees stuff and points out things to the students and to others and to him herself. And also sees flaws. Sees flaws because we are flawed. We are all flawed. The nature of humans is to be flawed. Dogen said toward the end of his life, Dogen, he was the kind of the central figure in everybody's lineage chart, who does this lineage thing, and an important teacher, said of Zen Adapt's life, toward the end of his life, he said this. He lived to be 53. I think when he was 50 or 51, he looked back on his life and he said, geez, he lived to be 53? You know how old I am? Wow, that was a long time ago. Anyway, he lived to be 53, and toward the end of his life, he said, a Zen teacher's life is one mistake after another. So I went to my root teacher, Suzuki Roshi, many years ago after, oh, here it comes. They're coming back? Oh, but they've never been gone because I think they've been here. Anyway, welcome back. And a few more of you could show your faces, you know. It would be nice to have you in our group now that you're back. Let's see. So I'd been practicing for a few years and I had a strong enlightenment experience. And then I went home to see my mother. Where was my enlightenment then? What happened to my enlightenment? And I came back to Suzuki, my teacher, and I complained. I said, you said I've attained, he used the term so-called enlightenment. But I seem to be making, let's see, what do I say, more mistakes than ever or something, or more something than ever. And you know what he said to me? Oh, I know exactly what you mean. I feel exactly the same way about my life. He did. He really said that to me. What could I say then? So in the Chinese stories from the Blue Cliff Records, the Gateless Gate, the Book of Serenity, there are all kinds of encounters between students and teachers in which the teacher does point something out that helps the student. The teacher is free of the chattering and can see something and points it out to the student. And often the student then says, aha, and the student was enlightened for ever after. But that's very superficial, I think. Very, very. When you look at those stories, read one of those stories and think about 10,000 hours, and this is one moment in 10,000 hours, really. And that moment got recorded. The other 999 didn't get recorded, of just being together, just seeing if we can get along, just listening to each other, just learning from each other, and maybe getting annoyed with each other, but just coming back to our original ability to be wakeful, be still and wakeful. So here's case 19 of the gateless barrier. Zhao Shou, the student, said to Nanchuan, his teacher, what is the way, or the Tao? But we'll use the term way. Ordinary mind is the way. Should we then try to attain it? If you try to attain it, you will fall away from it. How can one know the way without trying to attain it? And Nanchuan answers, the way doesn't belong to knowing or not knowing. Knowing is a delusion, and not knowing is an indifference. So we can see, and then so supposedly after that, Zhao Shou had an awakening. Well, and that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But let's not codify it or concretize it. That's as a result of different interactions where there's some real calmness in the teacher that the student picks up on. These wonderful kind of transmitted things can occur. That's all. So we could say that these teachers like Nanchuan are guiding Zhao Shou away from conception, getting caught by his concepts. And each of them is tailored towards specific situations. So this transmission is not from some book. And I don't even know if it's transmission. It's direct and personal. When my teacher did one-to-ones with people, he said, I never prepare. I just show up. What's there to prepare for? We're always preparing. We're always rehearsing and regretting and repeating. What's there to prepare for? My teacher said, I just show up, although he said that in some Japanese English. I don't know what he would have said. Just show up, he said, maybe. He wasn't good at putting the I's in. So I talked, I think in my first book about, maybe my second book, I don't know, about how I was in the community, in the Sangha in San Francisco, and there was a teacher there who was not my teacher, who was kind of hustling me in a kind of subtle Zen way, hustling me. He was younger than Suzuki. He wanted some students, and he thought, look at this guy. He may be awkward, but he's really into it. And so he said to me, I've been watching your practice, and you are so sincere. And I'm starting a center down in LA. We were in San Francisco. And if you came with me, you'd be one of my main men. He didn't say main men, but that's what I remember. And, and I can help you. I can help you. And I didn't know. I was confused. I'd been with Suzuki for probably 3.5 years, 4 years. I was confused. So then, and Suzuki was not around when this happened. I'm sure he wasn't around, although maybe he must have been, his spirit must have been eavesdropping. That's right, his spirit was eavesdropping. So Suzuki said to me a couple days later, he said, you have a great treasure within you. Somebody may try to steal it from you. Be careful. Don't let anybody steal it from you. You have a great treasure within you. Each of us, we have a great treasure. It's below this chatter, but it's here. It's always here. And if people see this about you, they may kind of try to get it from you, but they can't get it from you because you're resting on stillness. You're resting on zero, the zero which all the numbers come out of. It's not some dry mathematical zero. It's the zero that all the numbers come out of. There wouldn't be any numbers without zero. It's a warm, open, loving zero, not a zero. It's a zero. But if you just stay in the chatterbox cafe for your whole life, you can't get a sense of what I'm talking about. That's where you sit. That's why we sit. So let's see. I'll say, well, I'm going slower than I should. So the teacher or mentor helps us with accountability. Uh, how is our meditation this practice this week? We very fact that we have to show up and meet in one-to-one with a teacher. Oh, I think maybe I should be meditating once in a while. So or maybe every day, or maybe I won't say anything about that. Right? So that's simple. That's simple. Like a personal trainer. I had a personal trainer for a while. I saw her a half dozen times, and then I went to work out alone. But I had to keep coming back with her, keep showing up until I really had the practice of the train of what she was teaching me in me on a physical level. Pretty simple. So accountability, wisdom, and experience. Well, it's just someone who's walked the path longer, made mistakes, and can help you avoid pitfalls. Seasoned hiker on a trail, knows where the loose rocks are. And a mirror. Accountability, wisdom, and experience, a mirror. Someone who not living in the chatterbox cafe and can reflect back to you what you can't see about yourself, your strengths, your blind spots. And finally, able to manifest a non-dualistic empathy. That sounds kind of fancy, but I don't think it is. Normal empathy is the empathetic observer and you. You're suffering, I'm not. And I may have some sense of what's going on with you, but it may come out with some feeling that I'm better or something, but that's not good. Even a subtle period experience of feeling of superiority doesn't work in this transmission. It doesn't work. And one clue as to whether you're doing normal empathy or deep, what I call non-dualistic empathy, is, are you emotionally drained? I see a lot of people one-to-one. I couldn't have done it when I was a young man, but I don't get emotionally drained. I don't experience empathetic distress. That's a term that social workers use a lot now. And I used to be a social worker, and social workers burned out all over the place through empathetic distress. So overwhelmed by others' pain that they just get frozen. So it's possible uh, as a mentor, and it happens that you feel others suffering directly, but don't take on their pain. You don't get blown over by students' emotional reactions. This has been a hard time for us in this country. And everybody I see is reflecting that in some way in my one-to-ones. Of course. Of course. It's possible to respond with a clear mind and action that doesn't overload it with advice. We overload our interactions with people with advice because we're insecure ourselves. It's true. Oh, a little advice is good. Like, you have a great treasure within you. That really helped me. He didn't, the way I talk about him, it sounds like he was this wise guru, but there was lots of stuff he did that wasn't wise. I mean, I was with him for every day for 5 years, and I picked these things out. And then people see why his statue's gotten so big in San Francisco. Katagiri Roshi, the guiding teacher here, used to go to San Francisco. He had been Suzuki's assistant. He said, every time I go, his statue is larger, and there are more statues of him. What happened? Well, this is human nature, right? This is human nature, but be careful yourselves, please. So my first teacher transmitted nothing to me, nothing. But it's wonderful. I feel so lucky that that got transmitted to me. How did it get transmitted? Did he transmit something? Like through a radio wave? This no thingness, this stillness is right in the middle of your being. It's regardless of how wigged out you are, it's at the center of your being. And all a teacher is help you tap into that. Tap into that. Yeah, my teacher, my first teacher, was very different than me. He had anger outbursts. I'm not going to go into those, but if you read Crooked Cucumber, you can learn about his anger outbursts. I tend to not have anger outbursts. My teacher was a traditionalist, and he paid attention to all the details of ritual and learned them and loved them. I'm a non-traditionalist. This is my ego nature. I'm not saying good or bad. I'm a Unitarian, still a Unitarian. It's in my bones. Went to Unitarian church from the time I was a baby until I was 18, 19. But, so we're all different, but we all have this in us. It's not a thing. It's a no thing. It's a stillness. It's a quietness. It's a love that emanates from the center of our being, from the center of all being. It's here. I'm not kidding you. So I was lucky because I practiced with my teacher for 5 years, from 1964 to 1969, before my first teacher, before many of you guys were born. And we were a tiny center then. We were smaller than, we never had a group this large. Well, when we started Tassajara in 1967, this summer, we had a group almost this large. So I knew him. I took him places. I met him on the street. I knew him. So I hung out with him a lot just because, there were not many of us, and I was around and he was around. And as we started getting larger here, I thought, oh, we need to develop a mentor program here because we're getting larger. And when we have more teachers and more students, so we did develop one. It was just still going, and I think works well. So now it's 10:31, and I have like 15 minutes to do the second and third leg. Can I do the second and a third leg in 14 minutes? I may have to move fast. Can I move slow and move fast at the same time? The slower you go, really slow, then you're able to move fast, but you're not fast. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? A little bit. So, second leg is the Dharma. Buddha said, don't follow me, follow the Dharma. Be a light to yourself. So the Dharma, some words in the scriptures from a teacher that I read in a book that I can repeat to myself and can encourage me in my practice. The Dharma, don't look to me, don't follow me. Follow the Dharma. Suzuki said to me in 1964, just sit every morning. Well, I was a fool, and I just sat every morning because he told me to. I told him all the stuff I was interested in. He said, just sit every morning. And I did that maybe for 50 years. You guys are some of you are only half that old, but I did it. It was the Dharma. It was the Dharma. And I kept, when I felt like not getting up and sitting, especially on what we considered cold mornings in San Francisco. I taped to my alarm clock this poem, this Dharma from China. Lumberjacks comb the mountain tops, axing everything in sight, yet crimson violets burn along the stream. Lumberjacks comb the mountain tops, axing everything in sight, yet crimson violets burn along the stream. That gave me some inspiration to continue. And it could be the Eightfold Path. It could be anything. You could just over and over read and think about and learn about the Eightfold Path and how ethical behavior and meditation on the path convert faith into wisdom. The Dharma is a map. It's not just do whatever you want. There's words that keep reorienting us toward waking up from our coulda, woulda, shouldas. So we may learn to play an instrument. We go to the teacher, like Ben, and learn to play the guitar. But we also have to do what they say. We have to play the scales. We have to do practice exercises, or we won't learn how to play. So that's the Dharma. And I've never done 12 steps, but so many of my students have done 12 steps. That's the big book in 12 steps, the big book. They keep coming back to the big book. And they have a sponsor. They've got a sponsor. That's the first leg. They do all three legs really well, I think better than we do. They have the sponsor. They can talk to whenever they want. They have the big book. And my friend, I'll give his name, Jeffrey, went to 5 meetings a week for 20 years after he got sober. That was his Sangha. Boy, that's strong Sangha, isn't it? Strong community. So those big book guys, those two guys had some wisdom. So the third leg, community, us. Or if we don't have an us like this, a couple of friends, a couple of people to sit with. For 3 years when I lived in northern Minnesota, I sat with my friend Randy, who we kind of semi-communally lived with. And Randy was into Yogananda. He didn't know anything about Zen, but we sat in Zazen every morning and every night. I didn't call it Zazen because that would have turned it off. I just called him sitting. We sat yogi style. For me, it was Zazen. For him, it was yogi style. Who cares? We get so sectarian, right? We sat in the morning before our little kids got up for a long time, and then after they went to bed at night, we sat again. So another reason for having Sangha is that we struggle, and it's nice to have other people who we can reach out to who have the same struggle as us, or similar struggle. Seeing others struggle and seeing them stay on the path helps. It helps. And when your practice is shaky and you start are falling down in the well, those other people can pull on the rope to help you get out of the well. Or maybe they'll fall down with you. Then you guys can all get out of the well together. But at least you're not by yourself in that dark, dank well. They show up, they share, they listen. The energy of the group can be palpable, the group support, and provide a real anchor. Retreats, if other people are staying and you just want, I want to get out of here. But if you're sitting just next to someone and that person is just staying, it helps that person is staying. You want to sit next to that person. if they're not sitting too perfectly, if they're because that can be intimidating if they're sitting imperfectly. So Sangha can also be the third leg, Sangha, community, can also be a rock tumbler. Why do so many Sanghas, including ours, have soap opera stuff going on? Well, all Sanghas do. Once you get to know a Sangha, you find some soap opera thing. And it reminds me of when I was a therapist, and I was a family therapist for quite a while. And I'm looking at Davey because he's been a family therapist. Um, and we would we would have joint meetings of the therapists together, and we would say, oh, I saw a dysfunctional family today. Oh, I saw a dysfunctional family this morning. This afternoon, I saw another dysfunctional family. This afternoon, this evening, I saw a third one. And my friend would say, me too. Then we decided, let's not use the word dysfunctional anymore. I saw a family today. We're all families. We all do soap opera stuff. Oh, let's just be tolerant and kind. So we quit using the word dysfunctional completely. But it is a rock tumbler sometimes. And you want to move on to a different family, a different Sangha. Maybe you should, I'm not saying, but you'll find the same thing if you hang out very much with the family. You'll find out there's a new kind of rock tumbling going on that you hadn't noticed. So a practice that's only sitting and has no teacher or community will likely become dry or off course. Or it can become cultish or too focused on the student getting something that the teacher says, you have a great treasure, or something. No treasure. Your great treasure is nothing. And it's a treasure, but it's nothing. Does that sound contradictory? You can feel it. You can feel it's not contradictory. Not contradictory. Practice with a community, but no central teaching or guide can become a social club. Well, yeah, a social club is fine, but we want something deeper than a social club. And as a teacher, my job for a long time now, and my delight for a long time now, is to nurture all three legs of the stool, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And everybody I work with, everybody I play with, everybody I meet who's following on this path. And to help them find a leg that's wobbly and get it secure so that they can live more lightly and more lovingly in the midst of what's happening in the United States now, which is awful. But still, things were awful times in the Tang Dynasty. This is the golden age of Chinese Zen. Awful times, awful times. And yet, the lightness that comes out of those teachings, the joy and the sense of camaraderie is beautiful, beautiful. So, I did the last two legs pretty quick, so. But they're just as important as the first one. So I will take, I have 10 minutes, maybe 13 minutes for questions or comments. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here with you. Maybe I'll start with people online. Anybody online have a question or a comment? And that can include the dark people. Most of you are dark. That's okay. Anybody online have a question or a comment? Did someone raise their hand? Oh, just scratched. Oh, that person scratched. Okay. to my left in the room. Questions or comments? Deb.
I was beginning guiding meditation. It says, may I feel safe. I've had other similar ones where they say, may I be safe. Is there a difference?
Well, both are important. Both are important. We can feel safe and we're not. We can be safe and not feel safe. It's just this kind of clunky English to say both. But both are important. I think they're equally important, don't you? Sometimes we're safe and we don't realize it. So sometimes we feel safe and it's not safe. Oh, thanks for bringing that up. I actually did a short version of that, but I never think about that. I just do whatever comes to mind. Did I say feel the whole time rather than be? That's interesting. I didn't even notice I was doing that. No. That's probably because I feel this collective angst that everybody feels. And I think generally things are safe. But the feeling here right now in the United States and Minnesota is a lack of safety. But I think when we walk to the car, it will be safe. I think when we go home, it will be safe, but we're not feeling safe. So that's probably why I did it though. On this side? Yes, Susan.
Up on that. I mean, in the present context, possible to feel guilty about feeling safe, right? I mean, like to mistrust that inner, thing.
Yeah, well,
We're
if
not
you feel
alive.
guilty, you feel guilty that you've got some privileges that others don't. So that I wouldn't negate that guilt. But if you bring that guilt into the Chatterbox Cafe and you sit it down and you bring 10 cups of coffee with it, that's not healthy for anybody. That's not healthy for anybody. But sure, guilt, sure. Oh. Guilt without the chattering, and then guilt turns into no guilt without the chattering.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just thinking, when I was a teacher with kids, I always thought for them to be able to learn and benefit from the community. Probably and I learned this from other teachers. I didn't make this up myself. Kids needed to feel safe. And that was primary to learning. You can't learn anything if you're not feeling safe. And it's probably, as I'm thinking about it now, one of the things that makes us want to be part of the community is that we feel safe there. In terms of the reality of safety, we are pretty much always in danger because, alone, we're pretty vulnerable. It's a big universe.
Mhm.
We're tiny people.
Yeah, so that's the other side. Yes.
But I think it's community and human beings are geared toward community. And so I really appreciate you bringing up the whole talk about the three-legged stool again. I remember you speaking about that long ago and I thought, well, if I'm feeling a lack of safety, maybe I need to look at those three legs and see where's the shakiness being created.
Mm. Mm.
So I'm glad
Good.
we talked about that.
Thank you. Thank you. I never remember. I thought, sometimes I say the same things that I said day before yesterday. I try not to. I thought, how long has it been since I talked about the three-legged stool? How long has it been, Margaret?
It was stuck in my mind because I think it just matters a lot to
Oh, I see. Okay.
feel, if I'm feeling like I can't move forward, sometimes I need to look at that, where.
Yes, yes, yes,
Where the shaky.
yes. Thank you. Time for a couple more.
Tim,
Yeah, Randy.
you talked about the solid nature of the three-legged stool. It reminded me that when I teach intro and I talk about the importance of posture, I talk about the three, forming three legs that your seat and your two knees.
Yes.
Really gives you a solid foundation.
Yes.
And that's so important.
Yeah.
And it just seems like there's just a direct analogy.
Yes. Good. Thank you. Thank you. You guys can hear you can hear them, right? You online? Yeah, they can hear you. Thank you, Randy. Yes, a very good analogy. Hi, come on.
So taking the metta meditation, and I know taking it for like a more full, where you go to difficult people and difficult, like, and like an enemy or something, or somebody that's really, really difficult for you. I just, do you have, I know we just did it was a very powerful meditation this morning. But do you have any, like, reflections on that full?
I'm a little bit hearing impaired.
Oh.
So Kate really enjoyed the meta sutta that we did today. And had a question about how, when you get to the part of the meta sutta where you're working with somebody or some people that make you upset, angry, or worse, do you have any guidance?
Yes, that's exactly it.
Yes, well, no, when I do loving kindness with people, we have more time. After we go out, we start with ourselves. We go to, and a lot of people can't do themselves, so then I have them bring their doggy in, metaphorically, and it says we, or they have some, because you have to start with yourself, then move out to someone we feel really close to, then move out to someone we don't know, then move out to someone we have bad feelings about. But we've established the support from ourselves, from someone we feel close to, and then we move out. And then and then we move back in, because that's the foundation stone. And we can't just, and that's why in the Metta Sutra, if I remember correctly, it comes later. I don't know. I don't remember correctly. But, does that make sense?
It's, because I was thinking that it's kind of more linear, like you have to start it yourself and then go out. And then you go back in, and then go back out to revisit that once you got your.
Yes, good.
Thank you.
A little more time, probably one more, and then.
I'm online. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's Catherine. I'm keeping myself black purposely for this because it's pretty deep. I recently found out that my husband's a sex addict and has been cheating on me for 40+ year marriage. And when you talk about
years, I'm sorry.
40, thank you. Yeah, when you talk about safety, that's the first thing that went. It's like I was standing on a trap door and someone just pulled it out and I keep falling,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And then you said, thank you. These meetings I've been doing online, they've been helping me. And one of these days I'll come in. But also there is a group of women in the same situation that we meet online Monday morning, and that little community has helped establish some safety. And I think that's what you were talking about here, because we're all in the same boat. And
that's your Sangha. Is it Catherine?
Catherine.
Yeah,
yes.
That's your Sangha. That's an important Sangha for you.
Yeah, it is. And it's helped a lot. And even though it's not monitored, we just share our stories or something bad that happened that week or something good. And yeah, I don't know why, but I feel so much better after doing it. I guess like you
Oh,
said,
well,
it's
you
my
don't need to know
Sangha.
why.
Yeah. Well,
And I
thank you.
think again about all my friends and students who did 12 steps, and trying to maintain sobriety is really hard. But between the sponsor and the peers, but seeing them, if Lawrence can do it, I can. If Judy can do it, I can. And they may have had a lapse. Okay, I had a lapse too, and then I don't feel so guilty. So what you've got going for yourself is a wonderful treasure. Your women who get together, who've all been hurt in the same way, all been really hurt in the same way for years. Have they all been hurt for years, and are they just
We're different ages, so some of them just as long and some maybe for 20 years, but still 20, 40. I mean,
good. I'm
yeah.
glad you've got that, but I think I want to change gender when I hear a story like that.
Yeah, at first I was just so mad
I've
at
been
all
working on
men.
changing gender. My teacher could change gender, but I haven't developed that ability yet. I mean, he really could, but that's a whole other Dharma talk. So he, she, they could.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting
You're
me
welcome.
share that.
You're welcome. Well, I think it's time. Thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure to be here with you, and maybe I'll be here with you again, although maybe not. As Margaret said, lightning could strike this building at any time. Also, I am of an advanced age, so the likelihood that something will happen with me sooner than you guys, the odds are very high, very high.